is Prince Harry winning his phone hacking lawsuit against the newspapers and Piers Morgan? Make sure you subscribe and stay tuned to today's Daily Nerd starting right now. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the news and pop culture stories of the day that's pretty much got me eye. And oh my goodness, did it go off in today's High Court. I'm going to give you Prince Harry's phone hacking trial recap of the day. Before I jump into all those juicy details though, there is a little bit of housekeeping. Firstly, YouTube human reviewer, I see you lurking. I'm not going to say any trigger words or anything that's going to offend your ear holes. And to everyone else awesome enough to have clicked on this video, hey up, how you all doing? Afterwards, do send me a super thanks. It's just below this video right here. Let's have a conversation about this because it does guarantee a response from me. And, oh yeah, let's jump into this one, shall we? So, for those that don't know, what is this phone hacking trial situation all about? So, it's all happening at the High Court. It is a 7-week-long trial into the allegations from Prince Harry and others, mind you, that their phones were hacked by journalists from the Mirror Group newspapers. Now, the Duke of Sussex is going to be giving evidence in person in June next month, so stay tuned for that. He will be the first senior member of the royal family, it is reported in modern times, to appear in court and be cross-examined. Now, what are they alleging in regards to the phone hacking? What does this all mean? So all of these, well, some of these instances, let's say, are dating back more than 20 years, okay? We do know in the UK that phone hacking did happen. It's why one big major newspaper, right, called the News of the World, shut down. They shut down because phone hacking was rife over there, okay? Google it. It was massive at the time, right? So we do know that the mainstream media back in the day did do phone hacking. Now, the claimants allege that journalists from the Daily Mirror, Sunday Mirror, and the People newspapers obtained private and confidential information about their lives through a variety of illegal means, namely phone hacking. They say that they exploited a gap in the security, which has now been fixed, where it allowed journalists access to their voicemails. By listening to messages left by, friends, family, personal messages. They were able to find out about the lives of the celebrities, the royals that they wanted to write about. They also allegedly used private investigators to trick others into handing confidential information about the targets. Everything from, financial details to medical information. For example, Prince Harry says that he's got evidence that reporters and photographers used a variety of techniques to follow the movements of him and his former girlfriend, Chelsea Davy, back in the day, before our Megxit, before Meghan Markle. So that is just a quick overview of the whole phone hacking scandal. Again, has been proven that mainstream media in the UK did do this back in the day. So Prince Harry does have a case and he could be a victim of phone hacking, you guys. Now, in terms of the trial recap of the day, well, let's get into that. So the Mirror did admit that some evidence, information was unlawfully gathered. This was in relation to a High Court challenge brought by the Duke of Sussex that, quote, warrants compensation. So in court documents released at the start of the trial, the Mirror Group newspaper said that it unreservedly apologises for instances of unlawful information gathering, which they said will never be repeated. Now, they've essentially apologised to Prince Harry. However, Andrew Green KC, who's representing the Mirror Group, said in the written arguments that it denied allegations of voicemail interception in the cases being examined during the trial. So, in other words, what they're turning around and saying is, yeah, we'll hold our hands up to unlawful information gathering. Yeah, sorry, guys, whoopsie. However, don't really make much difference here because the examples that Prince Harry is bringing towards the court, accusing us of unlawful information gathering, yeah, we didn't do it in those examples, but we did it in these examples. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they started off with that. Woo! Now, next up, so David Sherborne KC, opening the case, said that Prince Harry was subject to the most intrusive methods of unlawful information gathering, quoting saying, Prince are not the blatantly unlawful and illegal methods secretly used to get every little piece of information away from his royal duties and sometimes publish. It was quite frankly appalling. He then continues to say, while the royal family were plainly of massive commercial interest, so too were the private lives of actors and actresses who featured in the main soap operas at the time. So I do remember back in the day, I will admit this, that when Prince Harry was going out with his ex-girlfriend, Chelsea Davy, there was a lot of interest. Like, massive amounts of interest. Like, nearly every single day, there was, like, a front page story about Harry and his girlfriend, Chelsea Davy. It was relentless. I do remember that. Now, later on in the trial, he turns round and he actually blames the Mirror. He blames the media for his breakup with Chelsea Davy back in 2010. In a 6-page witness statement submitted to the court, Prince Harry said that, the journalists pursued them wherever they went. It placed a huge and unnecessary stress and strain on the relationship. And then he goes on to say, ultimately, their activities led to Miss Davy, Chelsea, to make the decision that a royal life was not for her, which was incredibly upsetting. They caused their circle of friends to become smaller and smaller, meaning that friendships were lost unnecessarily and led to huge bouts of depression and paranoia. He claims that 4 highly suspicious calls were made to Chelsea's landline numbers in South Africa in 2007 and 2009, and that these highly suspicious calls were made to a mobile number back on the 24th of January 2009. So here, he's turning around and saying, look, this unlawful information gathering, this phone hacking, everything that I'm accusing the Mirror Group of, and we'll be getting to Piers Morgan shortly, wait for that one. He's saying it caused not only his relationship with Chelsea Davy to break, but friendships as well to go as well. It just, caused unnecessary amount of strain and stress on absolutely everyone that was linked to him at that time. And I do remember when they did break up, the quote from Chelsea Davy, the royal life was not for her. She did say that, you guys. Now, moving on up, not only is he claiming that suspicious calls were made to Chelsea Davy, but also to the Princess of Wales. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, he's saying that suspicious calls were made to mobile phones belonging to the Princess of Wales, Chelsea Davy, Princess Diana's mother, Francis Shan Kidd, as Prince Harry is claiming. In his statement, he lists a total of 313 highly suspicious calls made to friends, family, and associates between 2003 and 2011. 7 of those calls were made to phones belonging to his then girlfriend, Chelsea Davy, between 2007 and 2009. 2 were made to the Princess of Wales's phone in 2004 and 2010. 22 to his then private secretary between 2003 and 2005. 1 was made to Ms. Shan Kidd's phone in 2003. The vast majority of the calls were made to his communications secretary, he's saying, and, his friends. I wonder, in terms of this kind of moment from Prince Harry, how he's able to prove that they were suspicious phone calls. time will tell on that one. I'm looking at a little bit of a side eye with that, because it's like, how can you prove that they're suspicious calls, right? Now, very important to say that MGN has admitted unlawfully gathering information about Prince Harry, but has denied phone hacking outright. Now, he is also saying that a private investigator was hired over his, quote, China White's activities. Now, the barrister representing the publisher in this regard has admitted that, yes, a PI was instructed by a journalist at The People to unlawfully gather information about Prince Harry's activities at a China White nightclub back in 2004. There's a reference of a payment of £75 in February of that year. Andrew Green, the barrister representing the publisher, said it is admitted that this represented an instruction to engage in unlawful information gathering, and MGN, the publisher, unreservedly apologises and accepts that the Duke of Sussex is entitled to appropriate compensation for it. MGM does not know what information this related to, although it clearly had some connection with his conduct at the nightclub. Whew, okay, so again, they're turning around and they're saying, yeah, we did some unlawful information gathering, we'll hold our own hands up to that. Here's an example. We hired a PI to find out what was going on in the China White nightclub that Prince Harry would frequent. However, we didn't do the phone hacking. And all the examples that Prince Harry's bringing, yeah, not to do with us, not to do with us. Okay. Now, David Sherburn, again, representing Prince Harry, is basically turning around and saying, look, you're talking BS there, because the whole phone hacking thing with the Mirror journalist was done on an industrial scale. Started in 1991 and continued until at least 2011. So you're talking a 20-year kind of window where they're alleging that the journalists were phone hacking. Only Prince Harry, of course, but so many other people, people of the royal family, celebrities, you name it. Apparently they were hacking it. Let's put it this way. Mr. Sherburn told a hearing in London it was a flood of illegality, but worse still, this flood was being authorised and approved of by senior executives. Now, which senior executive would we be talking about here? Well, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this. Yes, Piers Morgan. So, the courts told that he authorised systematic use of private investigators. So lawyers for the Duke of Sussex and others bringing damages claims against the publishers allege that Piers Morgan and its legal department must have known that private investigators were using illegal methods and still continue to use them. In other words, Piers Morgan is denying and has done all these years. Didn't know about the private investigators, didn't know about the phone hacking, completely kind of arguing the argument of ignorance, right? He's hiding behind that, yeah? No. Prince Harry and his team is like, no, you can't hide behind ignorance. There was no way you could not have known that this was happening. Now, during the opening of the cases against MGM at a hearing in London, the barrister for Harry gave examples of private investigators convicted for illegally obtaining private information, but who were allegedly still used by the publisher. In written arguments, his barrister said it was inconceivable that Piers Morgan and other editors did not know about MGN journalists instructing private investigators to obtain information. He must have known, is what Prince Harry's side is saying. For Piers Morgan to turn around and say, I had no clue whatsoever what was happening in terms of the phone hacking, the private investigators and all that lot, Prince Harry's team is turning around and calling BS on that one. Now, the Mirror, they're saying, made 267 payments to private investigators. Again, so many payments. How did Piers Morgan not know about this would be a question, right? And so the Mirror Group made 267 payments to private investigators to find information about Princess Diana, the King, the Prince and Princess of Wales. Prince Harry's legal team allege. Documents have been submitted that claim that, Mirror Group newspapers, MGN, commissioned investigators 114 times in relation to Prince Harry between 97 and 2011. So over what, 12, 13-year period? Whoo! It's alleged that the newspaper group also made 8 payments relating to the Prince of Wales between August the 12th, 97, less than 3 weeks before the passing of Princess Diana, and September 2004, and 7 payments relating to Princess Diana herself from May 1996 until September 1999. It's just going through, that Prince Harry has this evidence of, well, hang on a minute, I got evidence showing that you made hundreds of payments for private investigators to illegally, unlawfully obtain information about me and us, right? And then finally, to recap the big bits that happened during today for Prince Harry's side of things, the court heard that the hacking of Prince Harry's phone posed a large-scale security risk. Now, let me caveat that with Prince Harry also has another lawsuit going on with our Home Office at the moment, basically the UK government. He's suing the UK government, our Home Office, for basically not providing the security that he wants when he and his family come to the UK. Yeah, okay. So that kind of ties into this, I think, here. Because he's saying that, the alleged hacking into his mobile phone posed a very real and large-scale security risk for the royal family. Showing the documents, Harry's barrister, David Sherborne, said that he had experienced unusual telephone and media-related activity, which is consistent now in hindsight, but at the time unsuspected, with the unauthorized accessing of his voicemails and other unlawful information gathering. Added that this included missed and hung up calls on an almost daily basis from numbers he did not recognize. Saying this unlawful activity included in particular knowing where the Duke of Sussex was going to be at any given time, and the widespread dissemination amongst MGN's journalists, the Mirror Group newspaper, of private information related to him, posed a very real and large-scale security risk for Prince Harry, his family, and his associates. So I'm going to be very, very interested in how Prince Harry is able to prove that the phone calls that he was receiving were basically dodgy, and how he's able to link that to the Mirror Group newspaper and the whole phone hacking, unlawful information gathering situation. And B, how, again, he is able to prove without, reasonable doubt, you know what I mean? Beyond reasonable doubt, should I say, when I could get my teeth back in, that Piers Morgan knew. Those are the two things I'll be really interested in finding out how he's able to do. A, how he's able to prove that the calls he was receiving were dodgy and were linked to Mirror Group newspaper, the phone hacking, unlawful information gathering situation. And B, beyond a reasonable doubt, how he's able to prove that Piers Morgan knew. Like, no matter what, he knew, hands down, and checkmates him. That is going to be interesting to find out. Stay tuned, because I will be providing you recaps as and when they come in regards to this trial. So if you want to know more, then make sure you subscribe today to this channel. Click that notification bell so you're notified every time you upload a video or go live. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theory on this one. Also, as well, do send me a super thanks. It's just below this video right here. Let's have a conversation about this, because it does guarantee a response from me. And until the next time, you guys, laters.